You're tuned in to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Powerful ideas to rock your restaurant. Here's your host, Roger Bodwin.
Welcome back to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Today I'm talking about the critical importance of staying ahead of the curve in your operation. Doesn't matter if you run a food truck or a kiosk, a quick serve place, sit down full service restaurant, or anything in between. Competition is fierce, and every operation must continue to innovate and strongly appeal to a large cross-section of demographic and audience. If not, the statistics are stacking up every day. It's no surprise that even well-known national chains are struggling to keep up and stay ahead of rising costs, labor shortages, and dwindling profits. Give this episode a listen, and please forgive me the cliche because it really is food for thought, and I think you'll see the fresh perspective I offer you. I'm pleased to bring you today's episode sponsored by Cabbage. It's all too relevant. In this highly competitive business, you see opportunity all around. You want to improve your operation. You see a way to increase sales or expand the business to get a big return on investment. The only hurdle is you need cash to invest, and you need it now. Next issue, you don't have time to put your financials together and wait for a committee to decide if and when you get your money. Here's a solution. It's called Cabbage. Cabbage gives small businesses like yours access to a line of credit up to $250,000. You apply online and get an immediate decision. Cabbage is a line of credit, so you can request the exact amount you need. You never have to reapply for more money, and you only pay for the cash you use. Cabbage is an A+ rated company by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped more than 130,000 businesses in every industry, including lots of restaurants, and they have over $4 billion in funding. Cabbage was also named a Forbes Top 100 company twice in a row, so check it out. If you need quick cash, go to cabbage.com/restaurantrockstars. And just for listening to this podcast, you'll get a $50 gift card when you qualify. Again, that's cabbage with a K, not a C, .com/restaurantrockstars. Take a look at Cabbage today, qualify, and get your money fast. Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions. All Cabbage business loans are issued by Celtic Bank, a Utah chartered industrial bank, member FDIC. Now, on to the episode. Rockstars, I have a question I want you to think about. Is your operation relevant? I Googled this, and relevant is defined as appropriate to the current time, period, circumstances, or contemporary interest. In other words, do your regulars and first-timers absolutely love what you offer? And going a bit further, is your concept, your menu and food, your ambiance, and above all service compelling enough to keep them coming back long into the future? Now, this idea is lost on certain operators, and business as usual is no longer usual. It's human nature to sometimes fall back on past laurels, online reviews, customer comments, and take the current state of the state for granted. But don't let this happen to your place. Recent news in the trades comes to mind. Bertucci's is a well-known chain of Italian eateries that filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection on April 16th, just last week. Now, this was a once powerhouse chain founded by serial entrepreneur Joey Crignali and famous for their wood-burning brick ovens and signature pizzas. Bertucci's at its peak once operated 100 restaurants. The reason for fail? 7 years of falling sales and revenues. I loved this place. It had great food, a cool staff, ambiance, and lots of hooks like bocce courts in the restaurants, giant chalkboards, and dough balls for the kids to play with. Bertucci's partially inspired my own brick oven pizza restaurants. Beyond the falling sales, they also blamed the rising popularity of quick casual eateries. And here's the scary part, the oversaturation of the restaurant industry. Now there's more choices than ever and shifting consumer preferences toward cheaper, faster alternatives to sit-down restaurants. Now, I grew up in Massachusetts, and 5 years ago, I was super surprised that America's largest and highest grossing restaurant on Route 1 north of Boston also closed its doors. And get this, after 52 years in business. The landmark Hilltop Steakhouse with the 70-foot giant cactus sign out front grossed over $27 million a year, had 1,300 seats, and served 7,800 people on a busy Saturday. I can't imagine doing that. Now, why did the Hilltop fail? Their clientele was mostly older folks, and the restaurant did not become relevant to a younger audience. Talk about diminishing returns. This is the most competitive business I know. There are 1,000 details to stay on top of, and the unexpected is always around the next corner. So the point is, staying relevant is more important than ever. Every day we have to train our staff to deliver amazing dining experiences and treat every customer, even first-timers, as old friends. We have to control our costs, maximize profit, find new hooks, respond to online reviews, both good and bad, and most of all, build and sustain lasting affinity with the customer. Now, this is true whether we run a food truck or a quick casual restaurant, full serve, and everything in between. Again, we have to build and sustain lasting affinity with each and every customer. Now, it's so easy in this business to become jaded when things are good and get so close to the business that we start to miss the 1,000 details. That's why a fresh perspective should always be welcome. Encourage secret shopping, involve your staff with their opinions, solicit customer feedback, and regularly take a step back, step outside your place and look at every detail, everything the customer sees from the outside in. Then ask yourself, is my business relevant and does it have staying power for the long road ahead? Even if the answer is a resounding yes, I'm not suggesting you fix what isn't broken, but continue to innovate to stay ahead of the curve. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. For lots of great resources, head over to restaurantrockstars.com. And while you're there, download a copy of the book, Rock Your Restaurant. It's a game changer. See you next time.